Welcome back for the second half. Still with Richard Wood of Rotherham United, ex-Sheffield Wednesday, with Emma Johnson, midfielder for the all-conquering Sheffield FC ladies. I don't know about all-conquering, but we've got James Gregg with us as well. He stood his ground for a long, long time in the bar yesterday. I have to say, got invited to a media managers lunch. Your debut.
Yeah, it will be. I'll definitely be coming next year. It was good fun.
It was, wasn't it? You mistook it though, because I said, "Oh, come to our managers lunch." I failed to tell you that it was an evening session as well.
Yes, yeah. Well, you know, you'll live and learn, don't you?
You'll know next time.
Yeah, maybe I'll follow you up Door Road next year. Maybe.
The less said about my weaving progress in walking up a certain road last night, the better. This book, I promised the author a quite well-deserved mention for it just before we got underway. Tom Whitworth, Sheffield Wednesday Through the Modern Era. Do thoroughly recommend it. It'd be a great Christmas present because it covers the turbulent times of recent history at Hillsborough, all the financial crises, the takeover talks, the on-field nightmares, and one or two good as parts of the story as well, including the 2005 promotion from League One, in which Richard Wood, and here Al should forgive you. You were a member of that team, and it was a great day at Cardiff.
Highlight of my career so far. It was one of the best days of my life, bar my children being born. Still gives me goosebumps now when I watch videos and clips of that day. Yeah,
it was just I was there watching, and Lee Bullen would say the same. You know, it's quite a fantastic occasion. 40-odd thousand following. But you made a point in your Sheffield Star column last week, which I made a point of picking up on and writing down. The number of members of that team who've gone into coaching and management as a result. Well, not as a result of it, but it just maybe shows what good characters there were in that team. Managed by Paul Starrett, but put together by Chris Turner. Paul Heckingbottom, manager at Barnsley. Lee Bullen, of course, assistant at Sheffield Wednesday. David Lucas, keeper coach at Fleetwood Town. There's Graham Lee, who was a member of the squad, didn't play at.
Yes, he was injured at the time.
Injured at the time. Middlesbrough under-23 coach. Lee Peacock, striker. He's at Eastleigh. Youth development. And Matt Hamshaw is with you at Rotherham. Number 3 in command now, actually.
He's doing well. I think he deserves his chance. He's been at Rotherham now for a few years working with the academies. And now he's getting a chance at first team coaching, and the lads really respect him and really receptive to the sessions he puts on and the way he speaks. It's very good. It's just strange.
Another friend of the show. He's been in here 3 times.
Touching on that, you know, these players who you've played with, obviously, and sort of come through with. Does it help if a coach has got a bit of pedigree, playing pedigree like that? So obviously you sort of have played with him, so it's a bit odd, sort of slightly for you, I reckon. But you know, some of the younger lads, do they sort of look at that and think, yeah, this bloke knows what he's doing, commands respect? Does that play a big part?
It does. Yeah. It does. Knowing what career they've had. And how they speak now, how they come across, they can relate to how we are in our situation. Hammy's been brilliant taking the sessions. We're doing a lot of defending with him, even though he didn't defend that much.
He was on attack, wasn't he? Well,
but he understands the game, and he understands what, for example, the full-backs need to be saying to the winger. It's all about communication, and he probably got shouted at all his career by whoever was right back. He spoke about Ian Hendon and Steve Haslam has been very good full-backs who spoke him through the game, and it's no surprise now that both them two are in coaching. And it was same with the lads in that promotion year. Are very good professionals, know the game, talk a lot of sense, and it's no surprise now they're all coaching and doing a good job.
You might join them as a coach at one time if you fail to break into journalism, of course.
After my degree this year that I'm going to do my badges, I never fancied it. If you'd have asked me 5-6 years ago, I didn't fancy coaching, but as I've got a bit older now and a bit more experience, I definitely fancy it. And if something comes up, I'll have the badges hopefully as backup. I want to try and do the media first, but you never know if a friend calls on you.
Let me tell you, there's more money in football coaching than there is in journalism. That's an absolute
you're never going to be a millionaire doing that, no.
Emma, you're in mid-career at 25. I mean, with a great deal to look forward to. I'm guessing Sheffield FC ladies midfielder as you are, you're probably at your peak or approaching your peak. Would you you think?
Yeah, I'd say I'm probably approaching it. Not quite there yet.
No. What can you improve on?
We'll ask Zoe this one when she's next on. No, I think that my composure on the ball, I think that's a big one for me. Sometimes I have something in my head and my head thinks quicker than my feet. So.
Right, that's well put.
Yeah,
Things quicker than your feet.
Yeah.
Do you have any aspirations for later on as to what you do? You've got a job outside of playing?
Yeah, I studied at Hallam, Sheffield
Right.
Hallam, and I did sports science as an undergraduate, and then I went on and did sport business management as a master's. I finished that last September. I'm now working for Activate Sheffield that have a lot of sports facilities around Sheffield, and I do the marketing and the event side of that at the moment.
Right, sounds an interesting job, and you're a long way short at Sheffield FC, and many other ladies' outfits have been fully professional, aren't you? That's some way down the line, just raising the money. You get good gates, but
Yeah.
what, 300 to 200, 300?
Yeah,
Pretty good.
yeah. On average, I'd say around
Yeah.
that throughout the season. But like you say, it's not quite there yet. I mean, you're looking at the top teams in WSL1 and they're on a pretty comfortable wage, full-time, training every day. But us, we've kind of got to balance our work and football life. So.
Yeah. Richard asked a great question, but he asked it off air. I don't know if he wants to ask it on air about, what happens, in the ladies' game. You, for instance, you don't get paternity leave,
No,
do you,
we don't.
Richard? Let's put it like that.
Not as footballers, we've got the contract and with the games as well.
Yeah.
We don't get the 2 weeks that
Yeah.
men are entitled to. So I was intrigued to know when and if you get pregnant, how does it work around your football season?
I leave the
Making a
difficult
bush here,
I leave
yeah.
the difficult
It's a
question.
tough-
Give the
it's a
guests
tough
to
one.
answer. Yeah, go on.
I was sat here sort of shivering in my chair. Yeah, go on, it's a tricky one.
To be honest, no one in my team, but I've previously been with in a team where somebody has, and she took a whole season out, but I don't know. It just depends on the person, really. You see, some women have continued to train, not play, but they'll have maybe a month out and then go back into it. I think it's just very dependent on the individual, really.
Yeah.
Good
But
answer.
I don't
Good
think there's
answer.
anything tied into our contracts about that at the moment, so I'm not sure what would happen with that.
Because some athletes and stuff do that. Obviously, prime example is Jess Ennis-Hill,
Yeah.
who, it's very different because it's obviously not a contact sort of sport that she's doing.
Yeah.
And she sort of used it to her advantage, didn't she? You sort of saw that. She did the training and whatever and used all the natural things that your body does to improve it. It's not something that you can really do, though, is it? You couldn't, it's like 12 men on the field,
Yeah.
in a way.
Yeah.
You can't,
Exactly.
you couldn't do it, could you?
No.
It's a difficult one. But, these, obviously, naturally, and we asked this off air as well, but I'm going to ask it again, put you on the spot. Basically, you get a lot of comparisons drawn, don't you, between the men's and the women's game. There are differences, you've got to sort of acknowledge that. Does it annoy you slightly when people draw it and say, oh, it's not as rough or whatever, and, make these sort of assumptions? Does it annoy you, or do you just sort of acknowledge it and move on?
Yeah, I kind of just acknowledge it, and like Kennedy said, it does bring conversation starters, and but it's just you get it all the time, so you're kind of used to it. It doesn't really bother me, and yeah, it's not a. It doesn't. I don't think.
I think it
they're
is
asking
quite
that
physical.
again.
I think it is quite physical.
You said that. You said it's surprisingly actually
Yeah.
quite
Yeah,
physical.
there's an edge to it.
You sort of showed your battle scar off as well.
She did.
From a development game. You must
We
say
never
as well,
saw it
so-
on air. I
No.
should have asked her on air, really.
So-
I'm going to ask Rotherham. I'm going to ask Richard here about Rotherham's managerial turnover, the Kenny Jackett shock.
Yeah.
How many managers he's worked for at Rotherham, which is quite a few already in just a couple of years.
Yeah, blimmin' heck.
After you've gone through, whistle through everything else, James.
We'll
Thank
do
you.
exactly that. We'll whistle through it. Buoyed by a 2-1 home victory last week over Preston, the Owls travel to Yapstam's Reading, who are sat handily placed in third in the Championship, going really well this season. And they've also got an FA Cup tie to look forward to at Manchester United. Just throw that one in there. Yapstam returning to Old Trafford. Fantastic stuff. So that's a tough game for them this weekend. But if the Owls do win that, they'll draw level with Reading in the Championship on points. Whilst the Blades, I hate using this phrase, but they can now focus on the league. Yeah, classic. And all the Blades fans are now saying, well, we've got no excuse now not to go up, no distractions with the cup. They lost 3-2 against Bolton last weekend, and quite a good game by all accounts as well. Swindon are the visitors to Bramall Lane this weekend, with the Blades in 3rd spot in League One. Hallam FC, they couldn't follow up that fantastic win at the weekend last week over Penistone with a win last night. A striker crisis has hit Sandygate, and Ryan Hindley was sort of voicing that to me yesterday at this lunch that we were at, saying that Curry, Blythen, Bates, all the goal scorers, all sat watching from the stands yesterday as they lost 2-0 last night to Grimsby. But this weekend, it's a good chance to sort of get things back on track when they play against Teversall, who I think are 18th in that league. So good chance for Ryan Hindley's man to
and
get
how
things.
Professional was Ryan Hindley at this too? He's watching us all there with our pints of Guinness and etc. and glasses of red wine, and he's drinking orange juice. It absolutely was. He prepared thoroughly for it.
He did.
For that game. He should really have had a few pints.
Yeah, maybe, because he was getting a bit tetchy, wasn't he? He was getting a bit tetchy before. Bless him. So, yeah, good chance for them to get things right again at the weekend. Sheffield FC, the men's team, not the ladies' team that I always talk about glowingly on this programme. They're 11 unbeaten now, so Mr. Colliver doing a great job there for them. 2-1 win over Loughborough Dynamo the other night. You were there, Alan.
Yes.
Tell us more.
Yeah, I was very, very impressed. I mean, it was quite a fragmented game, a very close game. Loughborough in the lower part of the table, so Sheffield are expected to win. 11 games unbeaten now. They went behind, but then the response to going behind was excellent. They got 2 goals quite quickly, one a brilliant free kick and another well-worked move with a close-range finish. And I thought just deserved to edge it, but there's clearly a team bond, and they were getting the ball in the corners at the end and grinding it out, making sure that they held on to the points. And I thought I was going to jinx them. You know, I saw James Colliver. He said, "Oh, blimey, they're all coming out of the woodwork now." You know, you didn't come here. You were never here when we were struggling.
Yeah, last season. Different side, obviously, to last season.
Yeah.
They've got Gresley at home this weekend as well. So if you want to get yourself down to that, watch a good standard game of football. Sheffield Tigers in Rugby Union, they've now lost their last 6. Probably struggling with that step up to National Division 2, now only 2 points above the relegation zone. Cause for concern. While Sheffield Rugby Club, they're doing all right in the league below. Sort of following on from the Tigers' domination in that division last year. They absolutely wiped the floor with everyone last year. They're now top of the league, 4 wins on the trot, and they play against Birmingham this weekend at Abbeydale. Well, what a road trip for the Sheffield Steelers this weekend. I'm not sure if you've seen this, but, you know, we moan about footballing schedules and you know, cup game on a Tuesday and all this kind of stuff. Well, Sheffield Steelers, they play against Belfast on Saturday away, and then on Sunday they play against Cardiff Devils away. So that's quite a road trip for them. I'm sure there'll be a bit of air travel involved as well.
Yes, not a road trip.
Yeah, no.
Air miles. How would you fancy that back to back?
It's serious, that, isn't it? It's, you know,
part and parcel of what it is.
It is, yeah.
You've just got to travel. I mean, we're all used to travelling away and.
But managers and coaches and players would be squealing, wouldn't they? Imagine telling Jose Mourinho he got to play back-to-back games.
They never have to do it. The ice hockey lads, you know, they love that. I think there's a bit of bravado with it. I think they probably think, oh yeah, you know, look at us playing 2 games in a weekend. It
didn't do them any harm last weekend.
Well, no, they played Notts Panthers twice last weekend. They won both times. Second one was a 5-0 win at home, so it probably made the travel this weekend a little bit easier. And the final word on this roundup, it goes to local sporting hero Nick Matthew, friend of the programme. What a man. He's won his 4th British Grand Prix. He's certainly put his retirement plans on hold. I know he was sort of thinking about, oh, do I sort of play a reduced schedule next year? Well, he's definitely not doing that now. No. He's eyeing up another Commonwealth Games, believe it or not, which is incredible. He's 35 now, so that'd be some achievement just to get there. And also, he's trying to target winning the World Championships as well next year. So well done, Nick, and all the best for 2017.
Congratulations, Nick. Yeah, brilliant. I wouldn't say we were writing him off, but it came as, let's say, a pleasant surprise.
Yeah,
that he would win that, and it just shows his mental strength.
Yeah, but his long-term rival James Wilstrop as well, who Nick I think has always had the edge over him.
He wiped the floor with him, didn't he?
Yeah, 3-0.
Absolutely wiped the floor with him. I thought it was going to be a close game, wasn't it? James, thanks very much indeed. These managers, the manager turnover, I don't know, you're going dizzy with this, Richard. It was Steve Evans, when you moved there in 2014. He got sacked. Neil Redfern.
Yep.
And then he got sacked quite quickly. And then it was
Neil
Warnock. I almost forgot.
Yeah. Then this season, Alan Stubbs.
Yeah.
Then Kenny Jackett.
So how many is that?
That's
5.
That's
5.
I've been out on loan a few clubs as well. Had managers there. So in the last 2 years, I think I've gone through double figures with managers, which
Wow.
I don't know if that reflects me as a player or not.
But surely that is difficult because you're trying to come to terms with what each manager wants, and it's different in each case.
How different has it been? That's the, you know.
Every manager's got different styles and different opinions. So when the manager likes you, you want him to stay in the job, and Neil Warnock.
Yeah.
You're disappointed when he goes and doesn't stay in the job.
Neil Warnock.
And then it works the opposite way. I've had quite a few managers now at Rotherham who have had difference of opinion with me. Obviously, I'm not their sort of player wanting the team, so I'm not happy to see him go, because that obviously says that the club are doing bad.
Yeah.
I want the club to do well, but it gives everybody a clean slate, and it's hard sometimes to. You've got to impress again. You've got to impress the incoming manager, and it's just building relationships again. So it's an unsettling time.
You were in the team under Kenny Jackett, and then he goes, which is obviously something you weren't looking to happen. Nobody was expecting to happen.
No, certainly not. No.
So, what was your reaction when that news dropped?
Very shocked and then disappointed, just because Lee Frecklington, who was a club captain, has been injured. Kenny Jackett made me captain from when he came in, so I was playing, and I felt I was playing well, doing a good job under him, and then to find out he's resigned was a massive shock. And like I said, I was very disappointed. And then you're just thinking, what happens now? I've just got myself back in the team because Alan Stubbs didn't play me, didn't involve me. Get back in the team, feeling happy again, and then he's gone. So it's just uncertainty again.
And I mean, just bringing Emma in just briefly on this, you've played for the same coach now for quite a while.
Yeah.
That must help.
Yeah, definitely, because you kind of get to know them. You know them as a person, and they know you as a person, and I think that helps a lot. And as a player, obviously, as well, so they know your strengths and weaknesses. But if there's a bigger turnover like that, you've kind of got to start again all the time. So.
It's crackers, really. I mean, obviously you've got to be careful what you say, because you're employed by Rotherham and you've got a feeling for the place. But where do you see it going now from here, in terms of the managerial?
Well, what the chairman's come out and said in the press and the media is what I get told as well. And he's saying all the right things that need to be done. We need to look long term and make sure the manager that is going to come in is committed and he's going to do the job and sort the club out in the mess we're in at the moment, because
it is a mess.
It is a mess, and there's no point me trying to cover it up and lying about it. We are bottom of the league. We ain't had a winning 15 games, I think he said, so it's not good. But we've got the right people at the moment in charge who are positive, and it can only get better.
Well, it is juggling that long term with the short term, because supporters, even from the distance you are away from a safe position, supporters won't want to see the towel going in. They'll want you to make an effort to stay up. I know it's unlikely. And presumably they'll be wanting the club to invest in players in January, but that's going to be really difficult to bring players in, to attract them to that position in the table, isn't it, really?
Yeah, I suppose when you put it like that, it will be. But we've got a new head of recruitment that's coming in that's not been named.
No, it's not been named.
So
I've mentioned a name on Twitter. I've mentioned a name on Twitter. Funnily enough, it's the same name as your surname.
All right.
We won't say any more than that. But, just have a look at my Twitter if you want to know who I think it could be. But anyway,
But there's a lot of work obviously to be done. We realise this. Nobody's going to throw the towel in at our club. None of the lads. We've got a good set of lads, and you never know. The one win, we get a win on Saturday, followed by a quick win away at Fulham Tuesday. We put a couple of results together, tighten that gap. Who knows? The momentum again. We went on a good run last season under Neil Warnock. Why can't it happen? I'm not saying we're getting relegated. We've got plenty of time.
That's the one thing you've got, isn't it? You know, time. And also, it's not just the time, it's also the belief from last season where you were in a very similar position with less time left.
Yeah, everybody's writing us off, but there's always that in the back of my mind. Get a win on Saturday, who knows with momentum. Yeah. I'm not stupid. I'm not saying we're going to go on a 10 matches winning streak at the moment. It's possible, obviously, but it's unlikely, and you never know. We just get this first win, second win of the season under his belt, and who knows where it can take us from there. One game at a time.
Ah, you've completed it. Everyone has said that. Sheffield United, thoughts on Sheffield United? Home to Swindon, seemed to have sorted it out with Chris Wilder yesterday. It was great company as ever.
Yep.
And Alan Nill, and great credit to Nick Johnson and Michael Morgan from our side of the fence for organising a fantastic bash. But Blades, as an owl, probably you're not allowed to say that you take any pleasure in it. But
They're doing very well, and they've got two good people in charge, Alan Nill, well, obviously Chris Wilder and Alan Nill. I've met him a few times and spoke to him. Obviously know the work they've done. They did brilliant at Northampton, and I think Sheffield United have got a very good manager and management team in place, and I think they're turning the tide now. It looks good for them.
Yeah, let's hope
as hard as it's for me to say that, but they are doing very well, and I hope they do get promoted, because the local derby is a great game to be involved in.
It's been too long, isn't it?
If we can get, well, you never know. Hopefully Wednesday get promoted, but.
What do you think of their chances of going up? 6th place at the minute.
Yeah, they're well geared for it now.
Yeah.
They've got the new, obviously the owners that's been there a while now. Everything's set up for the Premier League where they deserve to be. It's a massive club, and I wish I was still playing there now. They've got a great team, got some very good players, good budget.
Yeah.
Infrastructure's there, everything's there, ready for them to go. They just need to push on. They're set up nicely in the league position now.
You've got a Christmas game at Hillsborough, haven't you? Yeah.
It's next a week on Saturday, 17th.
Looking forward to that.
Yeah.
Bearing in mind that Rotherham's,
I think it's been a while since Wednesday beat us at Hillsborough. I'm not sure.
Yeah, I think
obviously
right.
we won last season there.
Yeah.
Hopefully
we
that, didn't he?
Yeah. I think we all did.
Yeah.
Especially Neil. Yeah, he got a lot of stick and abuse, which he loves.
He loves that.
Revelled in it, didn't he?
Yeah, he does. I think the fans should keep quiet to him, because he just milks it even more.
Yeah.
He loves the
I said
abuse
exactly
he gets.
that on Twitter. Yeah, in the morning.
Everybody just should have kept quiet, and he'd have hated that.
He would have hated it. Yeah.
But I can't wait to go back there, and hopefully I'm playing and we get another 3 points like we did last season.
Yeah, you got a bit of abuse there last season, didn't you? You enjoyed it as well.
Yeah, only a little bit. I think we were speaking earlier about leaving the club, but it's been a long time now, and fans and players move on, and it's a long time ago, so I don't think it's fresh in the fans' mind now. And
it's amazing. 1 or 2 replies I had on Twitter when I said that you were going to be here, quite bitter comments about it, and it was 6 years ago.
Yeah.
But people only hear one side or 1.5 sides of a story, which is why in the first part tonight, if you missed it, there'll be a repeat on at 11 p.m. All the programmes on my YouTube channel. You'll be able to see Richard's side of the story, his departure from Wednesday.
Yeah, I understand the fans' points of view as well, and they're entitled to their opinion. It's not an issue, and you take the stick. That's as professional players, you've got to take it. And I'm not going to have, obviously, even when I'm playing now, you're going to have good games, bad games. When I have bad games, you've got to take the criticism, and it's the same. When I left Wednesday, I took a lot of criticism. Fair enough.
Yeah.
Right.
Quickly, then Emma as well, before we've got 30 seconds left.
Are
you going to go up next season?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Yeah, we've
Really
got
nice.
aspirations, so yeah, I think we'll give it a good go.
Good stuff.
You dragged it out of her between us. She
Yeah.
didn't answer that question in the first part. No, it was actually, I put that question to the young player that we've had the pleasure of the company of, Kennedy Owen, in the first part. She was a little bit more circumspect. Probably there'll be a rollicking coming for Emma Johnson. So
Zoe.
James Kennedy, who's sitting in across the studio, Richard, and indeed Emma. Thanks very much. See you next week. Bye.